Thank you all for joining us on this occasion where I'm able to interview not only one of the top lawyers in the state of Texas, not only a phenomenal woman, a mother, a wife, a sister, a daughter, but also in the marketplace, someone who is revered in Dallas as one of the top attorneys in the city, one of the top attorneys in the state, based on the Texas Bar Association, Ms. Chalon Clark Thomas. Chalon, how are you doing?
Good. Good morning.
One, I want to thank you for taking time to interview with me this morning as your family, as our family, are wrapping up a family vacation, which we will talk to the audience about that later. But I want to be able to talk to you about a little bit about entrepreneurship, and also your journey. You're not only a stalwart in academia, or in the profession as a black woman attorney, equity partner, for the record. But you are also someone who is creating systems and creating spaces for legacy for your family, for your community, and all of that impacting society. So thank you for taking time this morning to talk to me.
Of course, my pleasure.
Good deal. Before we get started, I would like to discuss your upbringing, your background. Please tell us a little bit about who you are and what created this phenomenal woman, Chalon Clark Thomas.
Well, pretty simple background. I'm from Rowlett, Texas. It's a suburb, 30 miles east of Dallas. Grew up with my parents. My dad was an engineering technician. My mom a registered nurse. Just my sister and I, your wife. They always taught the importance of education. And so I knew that I wanted to be a lawyer since I was 9 years old. I was very inspired by the civil rights documentary Eyes on the Prize, and I noticed how in the civil rights movement, for me, what stuck out, the people who, for me, were really moving the movement were the judges and the lawyers.
Policy.
Yeah, and so I was just like, well, that's really what I want to do, and so I, since I was 9 years old, knew I wanted to be a lawyer, knew I wanted to be a judge. I went to the University of Texas School of Law, University of Houston undergrad, got a finance degree. I thought business was a very solid background for law. And then I went to the University of Texas School of Law. And after that, I completed a federal clerkship. So that is when you work for a judge. And so I did that for 2 years, and then I started my law practice in Dallas, and I joined the firm Hush Blackwell. I've been there ever since. I've recently made equity partner, and I am very...
Pause. Talk to people who may not understand what equity partner means.
Yes.
And how you are in the space as a black woman in that equity space.
Yeah, so in the law firm, there are usually two types of partnerships. So there's the non-equity partners. They are W-2 employees. They get a fixed salary. They do not participate in ownership of the firm, but an equity partner is an owner of the firm. They get a salary, and at the end of the year, they split the profits. And so I didn't really understand how rare it was. I mean, obviously I knew it was rare because there's not that many black attorneys, period. When I saw the stats after I made it, I was just kind of blown away. So there are 1.3 million lawyers in the United States. Wow. There are 1 in 8,000 of them as far as black women, 1 in 8,000 become non-equity partners. And the stats for equity partners, 1 in 16,000.
So you're just building, you're at the top of this pyramid, or at least the upper portion of it.
Right. So when I imagine 16,000 people standing in front of me and they pick one and that one is me, that really blew my mind. So there are about 80, hold on. That's my meeting calling. He's saying he'll be here at 11.
Gotcha. That's what happens when you're busy. Like, you have to make sure you still coordinate with your meetings. So I'm fortunate and I'm lucky to be in this presence of someone who is so
silly.
busy
So
and,
yes, so
and
basic.
impacting the world. Literally, not just the country, the world.
You're so funny. I realized that there are 81 black women equity partners in the United States, and so I am number 82.
All right.
So yeah,
It's
so
not in Dallas, not in Dallas County, not in the state of Texas, which there are a lot of attorneys. But
Yeah.
out of 1.3 million attorneys in the country,
Mm-hmm.
you were number 82 of black women.
black women.
No,
Equity
but I
partners,
mean,
yes.
black women rule the world. That's
Yeah.
quite all right. We're gonna put you in that upper echelon.
Yeah, so yeah, so I did recently achieve that, and I'm very proud, very happy. But there's still a part of me that tugs on creating my own.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Wow. So you're still your equity partner at Hush Blackwell, in which they're a large firm worldwide.
yeah, it's an AmLaw 100 firm. We have about 800 attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I practice commercial litigation, so I do help businesses handle disputes.
Great. And I know that there are some of your partners or some attorneys in the firm that also provides help or assistance for entrepreneurs. I know with my work in advocacy in the Dallas Black Chamber of Commerce, there are a couple of attorneys that creates programs so that entrepreneurs can get the right tools and toolkits so that they can ramp their business up. They can have successful submissions with federal, statewide formations so that they can
Yeah.
operate. So could you talk a little bit
Yeah, so
about
the
that?
program is called Communities for Change. It kind of arose right after the George Floyd incident, where our firm was like, what can we do to be a part of the solution and not the problem? And so that of many programs arose, and Communities for Change is where we help startup businesses doing whatever they need to do to get started up. So whether that's business formation, any type of corporate transaction, and I'm not a corporate attorney, so I don't get involved much in it, but they're giving them pro bono legal services to help them get started. And it really obviously focuses more on minority businesses because those are usually the businesses that are underfunded and need the help.
Right.
But it is an opportunity for all small businesses. And then also my firm is looking for minority vendors. So we have a list where, we're trying to make sure that we are spreading our dollars across the communities. And so we're looking for a vendor supplier list of minority owned businesses so that we can utilize those.
Wow. So Hush Blackwell not only addressing and helping the big corporations, but also the entire business ecosystem as it's needed for our society, for capitalism actually to work.
Yeah.
Right? So that we can provide citizens access to this business. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for your firm to provide all of those opportunities. I want to transition a little bit into entrepreneurship now.
Yes.
Because you're successful. By no means do you need to have some sort of validation that you are significant in the society, because it's already proven through one completing one of the best law schools in the country, barring in one of the best states, one of the toughest hardest states in the country.
Yes.
So it's proven that you slay, but yet you still want to have this itch, this entrepreneurial itch. So tell us a little bit about how you're able to relieve that itch and the genesis of that.
Yeah, so it started with the pandemic. Everybody had to stay still. I had all of these things on my mind that I had been wanting to do forever. So one was writing a book. I did that. I finished a book that had been on my mind since I was a kid.
So where are we? Where are we in the process of this book formation?
We're editing. So,
Okay.
Yes.
So look out soon. Coming soon. A novel
Yes.
by Chalon Clark Thomas.
And it's really a memoir about my childhood, growing up spending summers in Coolidge, Texas, population 800 and probably less now. And that experience with my grandmother and the tug between she and I, where she had to stop school at 8th grade, and here I am, and this small country woman, and then me, this big city girl with these big dreams, and just the clash between us, but the love that bridges the divide. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great legacy story as well.
Yes.
I know a lot of people can relate to it. So please pick up your audio book, pick up the physical copy. Always support local entrepreneurs.
Yes. Okay. So, but one thing was interior design. You know, I had unknowingly been creating a portfolio for the last 7 years. My husband had purchased a property, and we had flipped it. And he
residential property.
It was a residential property, and he was like, I don't have money for a stager, I don't have money for a designer, you're the designer. So, you know, I did that, and then we also built several homes, and I would design those, and then also same thing with the restaurants. My husband's the owner of the Island Spot Jamaican Kitchen and Bar, and he would be like, we don't have money, you're the designer.
So where are these restaurants?
So we have.
I've never been to one, but ever in my life.
We have our original location is in Carrollton. Our second location is in Oak Cliff. And the third location will be opening soon in Farmers Branch.
Farmers Branch, yes. Island Spot, location number 3.
Yes.
Rich food, reggae
and rum. Okay. So people kept on coming into my homes and asking me would I design for them, and I'm like, no, I'm not a designer. And then the real estate agent who saw I staged the homes or was putting some of our homes on the market for rent, he would be like, asking me, can you stage for me? Will you do this for my client? And I'm like, no, I'm not a designer. So finally in 2020, I started going through some of the pictures of all the things I'd done, and I'm like, maybe I am a designer. So I was like, let's just try it out and see what happens. I opened up an Instagram account, put a little picture there of a fireplace I had transformed 7 years before, and the outpouring was so great. And my husband, he was like, you need to post it on Facebook. Nobody knows you on Instagram, you don't have a following. And I'm like, oh no, I can't put it on Facebook, because judges follow me and other lawyers, and then
it'll conflict with your professional career. I
thought that people wouldn't take me seriously. They're like, who is Chalon over there with them little designs? Go sit down somewhere. You need to be practicing law. Yes. And so my husband was like, you have to do it. And when I put it on Facebook, the outpouring of support was so great. And my first clients came from Facebook. Other black female attorneys, the exact demographic that I thought I didn't want to know about my business are the people who support me. And most of my clients have been other black female attorneys. And so once I started the business, I was booked I started in January. By August, I was booked for the whole year into 2021. And it's been going ever since.
Phenomenal. Well, I can attest, your designs are amazing. You designed our temporary bedroom before our transition of our remodel, and you've made an oasis in that
Thank
room.
you.
And so thank you very much. My wife, your sister, my son, your nephew, and I all love it, and we can't stay out of that room, and we're looking forward to the future designs that you have for us. So you started with designing homes, living houses. Keep in mind, your husband, Richard Thomas, who's also a businessman and entrepreneur in his own right, built this synergistic system to encourage you to fulfill dreams when you can still, while being able to still working.
Yeah.
And so that support, talk to us about your relationship with your husband and how this extreme power couple navigate and be very a prominent figure in Dallas.
Every time people call us a power couple, I'm like, who, me? What? Us? Because there's so many power couples we look up to, Randy and Jill Bowman, Arlene Ford and Chris Reynolds. I mean, just so many people, and we're just like,
very
what?
Smart people.
Us? But, when I look at what we've done, I guess so, and I could not do it. We could not do it without supporting each other. I have 3 kids. They were just 5, 3, and 1. They're about to turn 6, 4, and 2. And we have support of our family. My mom has been my full-time nanny since my first child. But my husband is such a good support to me. Even with this interior design business, he's always the one that's pushing me forward. I would, in my sleep, he would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because we had a web developer that was in somewhere in the on the Asian continent. I can't remember which.
Different time zone.
Yeah, different time zone. And he would get up in the middle of the night and talk to this web developer. And one day he just woke me up and he was like, go to yourdesignredefined.com. And there I had a website.
That's
just
it.
always pushing forward, pushing me forward. And I do the same for him. Always encouraging each other. That's the person that you can just tell what your fears are. And I don't know how anybody can do it without a supportive partner. And my husband does not believe in the traditional roles. There are many times where it's 80-20, where he's taking care of the kids 80% of the time and me 20. And then sometimes those roles are flipped when he's traveling a lot, and so having somebody who we just pick up the pieces wherever one is falling off. If I have a huge case and I'm never at home and I'm working 15-20 hours a day, he is doing the bathing. He's picking up the girls from school, just making it work.
Yeah. You said a word there in terms of not fully grasping traditional roles and carrying that into current or future relationships, because it could be a detriment, especially if you are you understand and you know what your partner's vision and dream is, and it may not it may not look the same, especially with Richard not being from America. He's being born and raised in Spanish Town, Jamaica. He brings a different type of approach, a lens into the current black family dynamic. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
But this interview is about you. And I noticed at the Island Spot in Oak Cliff first, when I met my wife, your sister, I noticed along the hallway, going to the restroom or to the community space upstairs, there would be photos of paradise. I'd see beach fronts, I'd see exotic plants, I'd see animals, but then I would see photographed by Chalon Clark. How did that photograph translate into creating the Island Spot Villa?
Well, I think first off, Richard and I have always loved to travel. He is originally from Jamaica. My family descends from the Bahamas. So we always have loved the tropical, paradises. One of our bucket list items is to go to every single Caribbean island. So we were already inspired by that, and that was already in our blood. And it was what we've done now is to combine the residential experience we have in remodeling with the service, the hospitality of food, and the rum bar experience, and all of those things that we had from the restaurant. And now we get to put those together in the Island Spot Villa. And you just never know what God is doing. I never would have thought that would end, that these two would somehow converge.
Yeah, the intersectionality of your passion and your skill set, so that you can create this perfect way of not only being successful, but being significant at the same time.
Our experiences. So we have many residential constructions under our belt, many commercial constructions under our belt. Then we have the experience in the restaurant and the hospitality industry. And so we're bringing all that together, and we are taking this we thought it was in the 50s, but we've learned that it was built somewhere between 1938 and 1947. And we're taking this and we're going to bring it and make it a modern luxury experience. It's going to be, but authentic to the island.
Okay.
So you're going to get the authentic Jamaican food. You're going to get the friendly service, and the design is going to be high design for me.
Really?
Yes, but I am going to bring in the culture.
Okay.
It's going to, I call my design modern funk. So it's going to be modern. I love clean lines. I love hard edges, but you're going to see the color and culture from the island in the villa. You're going to see the tapestries, the fabrics. I'm going to have authentic art commissioned for this villa. And I'm just so excited about pushing myself, doing something that I've never done before, having to ship stuff from overseas.
Yeah, it's just the whole process.
Coordination. Yes, it's going to be the hardest thing I've ever done. But when I did your room, I said, Rich, it's always right before that quiet, right before you start the install, that I start to doubt myself. And I was like, Rich, I don't know if I can do this. This is really hard. I've never done something this hard before. And he said, you've never been this good before either.
Come on, support. Come on, support.
And so I'm taking that approach. No, I have never had to coordinate with brokerages and ship a crate to Miami and put it on a ship to get here, and work with furniture builders in the islands and try to figure out all the kind of furniture that you need for the type of elements that are here, the salt, the sea air, all of those things that I'm going to have to take into account. But I've never been this good before.
Come on now, dust your shoulders off occasionally. and I can attest, it's just phenomenal. We spent the last couple of weeks here being eyes and ears for you to maximize this experience, and it's been just a pleasure. It's been a real blessing for me, because I'm able to be at one with nature, at one with God here, and it really allowed me to restart and reset all of the things that I need to do back in Dallas. And so, as my last question, because I know that we have other things that needs to be done, I would like to ask you some advice that you would like to share to future entrepreneurs, specifically female entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs of color. Possibly that's a space that I want to focus on as a professional and advocate for rebuilding systems. What advice would you give future entrepreneurs in your journey?
So what I would say is bet on yourself. That is so difficult for women to do. We put everyone else first, our kids, our husbands, our families, our parents, and then there's some sort of shame we feel in deciding that we want to invest in ourselves. And no matter what you think about Kanye West, that documentary on Netflix is amazing, and it inspired me, because this man, when nobody knew who he was willing to spend his money and to have a camera crew follow him around as if he was the biggest star ever. And if he hadn't done that, then we wouldn't know who he was today, because despite him having an album, his record company wasn't putting the money behind him. He had to fund his own video. But you can't wait for the opportunity to come and then get ready. You got to be ready.
Exactly.
And so when I say bet on yourself, be okay with spending your money on hiring a marketer, hiring a person to what am I trying to say? The publicist. Hiring a publicist. So it's okay to put your money in hiring a marketer, hiring a publicist, actually posting on social media what you're doing, which was hard for me. And when I announced my equity partnership, a lot of people think my firm did that video. No. I paid a videographer. I paid a makeup artist. I went up to my job without asking for permission and had him do this video, which brings me more business. Same thing with interior design. You have to invest in the professionals that can help you get to the next level, and be okay with it. That's what I mean by betting on yourself unabashedly. And I'm still getting there, but that is my best advice.
Well, Chalon Clark Thomas, thank you for blessing us and telling us not only your past, not only what made you go, but also inspiring us to be the best professionals, to be the best innovators, and just to be the best human possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So now we should cheers to this. We
Cheers.
are in Jamaica. We must have rum punch.
Must have rum punch. And who do we see here but CEO Richard Thomas?
Always supporting.
Always a servant at heart
supporting.
too. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you all. You all have a great day. Be inspired. Follow Chalon Clark Thomas on all of her social media, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, follow her business, Your Design Redefined, and be on the lookout for the Island Spot Villa. You should book soon.
Thank you.